13 years, 118 wins, only 35 losses, and 2 national championships. All these marks that Notre Dame head football coach Brian Kelly helped GVSU achieve during his time there. Today, Grand Valley honoring him. As you just saw the funeral ending, we can expect in a matter of moments for the procession to begin as engine number 5 makes its way up Sprinkle Road with the flag-draped coffin of Eric Zapata on top. And for many of these people who have been waiting in their cars for hours for the procession to begin, strangers and citizens to Kalamazoo, it's a chance for them to give a hero's goodbye. Well, with the park now empty, there's only echoes of this afternoon's home opening win against the Kansas City Royals. And after a 6-game stint on the road for the Detroit Tigers, it's good to finally be home. That's the scene here in downtown Grand Rapids. More than 30,000 people on hand to ring in 2011, weathering the cold for the biggest party in West Michigan. And with more than an hour left before the ball drops, you can bet that the party is just heating up. After each of the Whitecaps hitters had a run, an RBI, and got on base, they were back in West Michigan last night looking to take 3 games and sweep the Tin Caps out of the area. It was just a makeup date from the rained-out May 27th game, but the way Jim Leland paraded around the field while arguing a call, you might have thought that the whole season was on the line. Next to Justin Verlander, Max Scherzer has been near automatic on the mound this season, going after his 10th win of the year, and boy did the Tigers need him tonight. And a great matchup in the gentlemen's final taking place at 9 o'clock on NBC. Rafael Nadal, the #1 player in the world, will take on the #2 player in the world, Novak Djokovic. Wes Leonard had all but written his name inside the Fenville history books. His 21 points Thursday night not only helped him eclipse the 1,000 career mark, it also brought his team back from 14 down. His late heroic layup in overtime sealed their undefeated season. But in just a matter of seconds that would all seem so unimportant, during this post-game celebration, the 16-year-old junior collapsed on the court. Those who had just celebrated with him looked on with fear and concern as EMTs tried to revive his body. 2 hours later, Wes Leonard died at Holland Hospital.
Did everything the best he could, and he was determined to be the best at whatever he did, and taking care of his body was one of his top priorities. I mean, he was in great physical shape from what we could see.
What they couldn't see was Leonard had an enlarged heart. Doctors don't know when he developed it, nor do they know why it gave out on that specific day. Nonetheless, a community is still in heartache.
I was picking him up like 4 seconds before that.
Never thought that it was him. He was so healthy. I don't know, it shouldn't have happened.
The tragedy and loss that this community has felt is unimaginable. And yet, while Wes Leonard has inked himself in Fenville history, his memory will echo through this gym forever. As you just saw the funeral ending, we can expect in a matter of moments for the procession to begin as engine number 5 makes its way up Sprinkle Road with the flag-draped coffin of Eric Zapata on top. And for many of these people who have been waiting in their cars for hours for the procession to begin, strangers and citizens to Kalamazoo, it's a chance for them to give a hero's goodbye.
As we observe a moment of silence in honor of Kalamazoo Public Safety Officer Eric Zapata.
The story outside was told through the silence, a silence that filled the streets that Officer Zapata once patrolled. Citizens lined the way, a chance to bid farewell to their hero. Inside, bells and songs accounted for his memory. His brothers and sisters packed Miller Auditorium, their last chance to serve beside him.
To be sure, we've cried many tears since Eric's life was taken from us by the forces of evil in that dark, cold, and wet alley. But there's a story to be told. A story of a fallen hero.
And his story was told, all over today, by the outpouring love and support, both inside and out.
This is a brotherhood that is always prepared to respond when the alarm is sounded, when the bells hit, you run into the tragedy. into the trouble, into the fire, while the rest of us are running away.
Officer Eric Zapata was the first Kalamazoo public safety official to be killed while on duty, and while his story will be told forever, his last call has sounded.
May we find hope in his valor. May he rest in peace and in glory in the company of those who have gone before him.
Officer Eric Zapata, employee number 11611, is off duty for the final time at 23:28 hours on Monday, April 18th, 2011. Godspeed, Eric.
Now, Officer Zapata's body has not been left alone since he was pronounced dead last week. Members from his fraternal brotherhood volunteering their time after work to sit beside his body. His final funeral arrangements will take place tomorrow, where he is laid to rest in his hometown of Lake Odessa. In Kalamazoo, Casey Jones, 24-Hour News 8. Brady Hoke is a native of Ohio. He grew up in Dayton and played 3 years of football at Ball State. But it was no surprise to those who packed the conference room on Wednesday as he was introduced as the 19th head coach at the University of Michigan to hear him say, "It's good to be home."
I can promise you we would have walked to the University of Michigan.
From the Pacific Ocean up the Rockies, now back here in Ann Arbor, you'll find no lack of enthusiasm from Brady Hoke about being home in Michigan. He made that clear at the podium and exactly what it is he stands for.
This is about a football program. This is about a team and 42 Big Ten championships. And that's what this program is going to be about. And we're going to respect the tradition of the University of Michigan and its football program.
That tradition runs 131 years deep, the winningest program in all of college football, but a program in recent years that has been caught in a fit of turmoil.
It's sad that this great university and this great program and the tradition has divisions. And shame on them if it's people who are Michigan people.
Hoke would surely consider himself Michigan people. He coached 8 years with Lloyd Carr, winning 3 Big Ten championships. He was also part of that '97 national championship. So with a new era being born in Ann Arbor, Michigan fans are looking to forget recent years, and Hoke is looking to restore the pride that is maize and blue.
Everyone who's going to touch this program and deal with these kids are going to have a fanatical love for the University of Michigan, or they won't work in the football office, I can tell you that.
Tigers pitching the last 2 days has been downright awful. After giving up 2 grand slams yesterday and 14 runs, the Tigers hurlers were taxed for 16 more today. It got so bad, Tigers manager Jim Leland had to bring in Don Kelly, an infielder, to pitch the last out in the 9th. And things didn't look good from the start for the Tigers. In the very first inning, bases loaded, familiar sight, Scott Hairston. Deep drive to center field, not going to be a grand slam, but it's going to be a bases clearing triple over the head of Austin Jackson. Mets led 4-0 at that point. It was 6-2 in the 6th for Miguel Cabrera. He had 2 on, and he unloads on one. An absolute monster shot to deep left center field. Made the game 8-5 in favor of the Mets. Cabrera's 2nd home run of the day, his 17th on the year. 2 batters later, Johnny Peralta, he's going to join the home run fun. Tigers had 5 home runs in the game, I guess the only highlight for the Tigers. It was 8-6, making a comeback, but in the next inning with the bases loaded, a grounder right under the glove of Ryan Rayburn for Daniel Murphy. It's going to score 2, 16-9 the final. Mets all over the Tigers today. Whitecaps wrapping up their 6th straight game against the Silverhawks tonight at Fifth Third Ballpark. A little dancing action before the game. Bottom of the 3rd, Luis Castillo grounds one right back up the middle. Dixon Machado comes around to score. 1-0 Caps. Still in the 3rd, Robert Brantley with 1 out, grounds to 2nd. He's going to be thrown out at first base, but Jason Krizan comes in to score. 2-0 Caps. And then on the mound, Alex Burgos takes care of everything. 8 innings, 1 run, gave up 4 hits. He had 6 strikeouts. 2-1 the final. Caps the winner. Well, for the longest time, Roger Federer was a given in men's tennis. 5 times in his career, he had won 23 or more consecutive matches. And with 6 Wimbledon titles, it put him just 1 back from Pete Sampras's all-time mark. But for the 2nd consecutive year, Federer will not play past the quarterfinals. Today, 12th-seeded Frenchman Jo-Wilfried Tsonga beat the tennis great. Not taking anything away from Tsonga, but for the first time in 178 matches that Federer has played in, he was up 2 sets to love and then dropped the next 3. Tsonga will now move to the semifinals to play the number 2 player in the world, Novak Djokovic, who also won today. Defending champ Rafael Nadal, who beat the only American left in the tournament, Marty Fish, this afternoon, will try his hand against the British hopeful, Andy Murray. Talks coming from Detroit say the Pistons will interview former Atlanta Hawks coach Mike Woodson for the 2nd time. That interview scheduled for tomorrow. Woodson was an assistant for Larry Brown when Brown led the Pistons to the 2004 NBA title. He then went to coach for the Hawks for 6 straight seasons, where he led them to 3 straight playoff appearances before he was let go earlier in this year. And even if the Pistons do decide to hire the new coach, he might not have a team to lead. Current NBA labor agreement set to expire in just about 24 hours. And after meeting twice for most of the month, they'll only meet once more. That's tomorrow, and neither side set to agree on anything really. So we're looking at a work stoppage in the NBA possibly, and the NFL.
Yeah, I was going to say, where have I heard this storyline before? Oh, the NFL.
The NFL, yeah.
Thank you, Casey.
We'll be right back.